Hello there, welcome to this video. Today we will model another swim training session using swiML. This is the program of Jasi Masters, February 23rd, 2025. Let's model this program in the Swimming Markup Language. So first we update the date. This is February 23rd. And we start, as usual, with a new segment, the warm-up. And we have our typical 400 meters warm-up. So this is quickly done, and we only have to add an intensity as a zone. Easy. Now that's it. Well, this first block we have here seems to be pretty much a warm-up, 200, 150, 100. So this seems to be one part of the program before we then go into a pattern of 450s combined with 300. So let's assume that maybe this first part here is the warm-up. So then we continue with kick fins, kick on back, fly back. Okay, this is interesting because we've got a variations of kicking here. So kick on back, fly and back 50s. Okay. So that would be as continuously swum. So continue. And the instruction would be a repetition with, we do it 50s, so 2 times 50, 100. So this is 2 times. Instruction length. Length is a distance. So it's 50 meters. And the stroke is, stroke is kicking. Now with kicking, we've got a couple of options. So far we often use the standard stroke for kicking, but there are more options. For example, we have got an orientation. So this will be on the back. And now we can add a leg movement to it. So which is first fly, so that is a dolphin kick. So let's repeat this, and instead of dolphin we have flutter. So far so good. Now the only thing missing is our equipment fins. So far so good. And we keep our fins on with some drill, which is just cannot be here. This is just continue. So we have length. Now come on, length as a distance, 50 meters. So actually I'm going to put the equipment right in there, so don't forget that. So these are drills. So the stroke is a drill. Didn't specify which one. So we start with drill, stroke, fly. So butterfly. And then we repeat this once, twice. So butterfly, backstroke, and freestyle. 275s, pull boy, back breast free. Okay. So that would be an instruction, a repetition count twice. And in here we have a continue. And the continue is of course 20. No, it's What is it? Yes, it's 25s. So 25. Sorry, that was wrong here. So we can't put this directly in there. We have to, of course, do length as a distance, 25. And then we can put in a stroke, a standard stroke, backstroke. And we have some equipment here that applies to all of them. Pull boy, that makes it faster. Do we have a rest? No, no rest. So it's just 25 backstroke followed by breaststroke followed by freestyle. No? Freestyle. So 100 AM, and then we're finished with the warm-up. Length as a distance, 100. Stroke, standard stroke, individual medley. Now that should do the trick. Let's have a look at what this looks like. We associate a scenario to it, and off we go. Now, that looks pretty good. Now we move over to our first set. So we start with a segment name, first set. Now 450s, 3 build 1 till 4. It's interesting because we've got an intensity across the 50s. So we start a repetition with a repetition count of 4. And we put the intensity right in here. So maybe we start with percentage effort for a change. So we start 70, 80, 90, 100. So we start with 70 and we do a stop intensity, which is also a percentage effort of 100. So instruction. So we start with a length as a distance, 50, and the stroke is a standard stroke freestyle. And we have a rest of 60, so that is 1 minute 0 seconds. Oh, sorry. PT, 1 minute 0 seconds. Right. Now we move over to 300 freestyle pool, pads and pool. So that is pretty straightforward. Length is a distance, 300, stroke, standard stroke, freestyle. And then what does even mean? So it's sort of an intensity, I suppose. Yeah, well, we can put some sort of intensity into it. Let's say a zone endurance. And we just have to add some equipment. So pads and pull boy. Now 650s IM overlap. All right, that's pretty straightforward. It's just a simple repetition. So instruction repetition count 6 times, and we are doing 50s, standard stroke, individual medley overlap, and we have a rest period of 65, so that is 1 minute 5 seconds. Okay. Now we move over to kick choice, which is 25 fast, 25 easy. So let's continue and we do it twice. All right, so instruction well. I continue. And then we put a repetition in there. And the repetition count is 2. And these are 25s then. Stroke kicking. Okay, so it doesn't specify it, so any. And we have got an intensity. So fast, we'll just do, let's say, race paced. And then we have to repeat this whole thing just with come on, I can just type it out. We forgot 65. No, that's not something. Okay, so 450 is number 1, build 1 to 4. So that's the same as before. Before we had the 450s, and it's 300, same thing without pads and pull. And then 650 overlap. So it's actually the same thing. So why don't we just copy this whole thing over again? So 650s, 450s, 300s. Okay, so we start with the 450s and we end with the 650s. So let's do this again. Just paste it all in here. Rightio, we start with 450s. So instead of freestyle, we do number 1. And instead of 60, we do 70. So 1 minute, 10 seconds. Then 300, same as before, where we don't have pads and pull. So we just remove that. And then we've got 650s IM overlap on 65. That is exactly the same as before. Now, and then we have a little bit of random things here, 425s. It's not really worth putting a new segment in for just that. So let's just put it in here. Repetition count 4. Length is a distance 25. These are fast tech alternating. So we only repeat this 2 times. Stroke, what's the stroke? Number 1. Standard stroke number 1. And we start with the rest. Since start 0 minutes 45 seconds. And we start with a fast one. So race pace. And we then repeat this whole thing a second time, just with an easier. Right, 200 swim down. So we put in a new segment name. Segment name warm down is just 200. Stroke, standard stroke any. Intensity zone. Not endurance. Easy. This is it. Let's have a look what this looks like. 3 kilometers. That's our program. Now, that's the program of February 22nd. Nope. This is our program of February 23rd, 2025, Jasi Masters. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration of swimming ML.